Hello everyone, you're welcome to another very special edition of Inside Blockchain, a show that focuses on blockchain startups and the impact of the blockchain technology in Africa. And you're watching on Crypto TV Plus, the most trusted source on cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. My name is Tony Obiajuru. On the show today, we are going to be talking about how the blockchain technology can transform the educational sector in Africa, most especially in Nigeria. And I am being joined by the founder of KureCoin, Abikure Tega. Tega, how are you?
I'm fine. Good to be here.
Yeah, good to have you on the show.
Yeah,
Thanks for
good
coming.
to be on Crypto TV Plus.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
All right, so before we go straight into the topic, can you tell us a little about yourself? Who is Abikure Tega?
Wow. Okay. Abikure Tega is a venture capitalist, public speaker, business mentor and coach. And I run a holding company that is focused and diversified into oil and gas, real estate,
Oil and gas.
and of course finance as well. So the blockchain and the cryptocurrency project seems to be our newest kid in our portfolios, and we are so excited about it. Yeah. And of course, that's why I'm here today.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. I want to believe, Tega, that you are a cryptocurrency investor, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so tell us, how did you come about the blockchain technology and cryptocurrency?
Just the way every other person came in contact with it.
What year in specifics?
Okay, we're looking about 3 years. 3 years ago. That's about 2015, 2016. Okay. Yes. That's not the first time I heard about it, but that's when I got into it.
All right. Tell me.
And then, of course, saying what, of course, Bitcoin is first of all the force of attraction that takes one there, and then saying as a finance person, the first thing that was coming to my mind is, how could these translate to numbers? And of course, the numbers actually attracted me, because when I saw what happened to the Bitcoin I bought in a short period of time, I knew that this was somewhere to look at, and of course, I got into studying it more. And then I saw how beneficial this really could be to both investments, and then to diversified portfolios, and then also to having a maximized investment. So I couldn't help but going as much as I could. And then it's been a very, very beautiful ride. It's been a beautiful ride.
I can see that.
Yes, I can tell you.
All right. Now I want to believe this led to the formation or the creation of KureCoin. Tell us about KureCoin.
Yes. In my experience, within this period of time having to invest, I came in contact with a lot of challenges. First of all, I remember what it took me to want to get my first Bitcoin. I had to change my Naira into dollars. I had to go to the bank to fill a transfer form to send to my friend who was in the US to get me Bitcoin from his site that I could see from my laptop in my own house. Just because I wasn't from US, I don't want to name the particular site right now, but because I wasn't from the US and I wasn't from Europe, my card is not known. So therefore, I could not buy what I could see in front of me. So I had to go through sending money across. It took about 3 days before the money gets there. And then he had to go to different ATMs. So he calls me, Tega, Amazon is saying so and so price. Okay, I'm gonna go to so and so place. I'm like, what's all this? I mean,
it's a whole lot of a problem.
As a matter of fact, I had to first of all educate him about Bitcoin for him to buy Bitcoin for me down here in Africa. So it wasn't a very beautiful experience for me. I didn't like it. I felt that if I wanted something, I think I have equal rights to as well get what I wanted. So I'm sure that's what led to our first project, which is the bank.
All right.
So and then afterwards it became better. If I wanted to buy Bitcoin today is for example Tuesday, and then for me to get the Bitcoin, it would take up to a weekend for me to get Bitcoin. And then you can imagine the price fluctuate within this period. So it wasn't a very palatable experience for me at all. So all of the challenges I had in the process of my investment, even though I made tons and tons and tons and tons of millions, but when I saw all of these challenges, I had to ask myself, the best way I could correct this, because I'm a visionary, the best way to correct this is to create something that wasn't in existence, and that's what led to the KureCoin. So if you look at the project, it's 4-phased. As a matter of fact, when I say it's 4-phased, and the bank, which is where you buy, you sell your cryptocurrency, you can bank your coin, and then you can access loan, collateral-free loans as a result of the coins that is being banked with us. So we looked at the exchange as well, which is like your Bitres or your Binance, and then we also looked at in trying the challenge we have for our bank in accepting payments. It's quite challenging, most especially when it has to do with settlements.
Yeah, very challenging.
And then it's also challenging to have the current payment infrastructure in existence to integrate cryptocurrency. So we had, the only way we could provide that solution, because there is none, is to provide our own payment solution, which is the KurePay. So, and then the blockchain, which is the fourth one, our blockchain infrastructure, which is KureChain, that's project in itself is multifaceted. I call it a multifaceted blockchain infrastructure, because I found that most of the blockchain infrastructure we have focuses on a sector. I have one of our partners, they created an infrastructure focused on e-commerce. Some are creating blockchain infrastructure focused on government processes, different of the so our infrastructure is going to swallow so many sectors. So yes, our slogan at the back of it is we're going to use our blockchain infrastructure to tokenize the world. Exactly. That's our aim. Yes, exactly. Every sector. It's an amazing project. Exactly. I get excited when I talk about it.
All right, that's amazing. That's amazing. All right, so now we're looking at how the blockchain technology, how we can transform the educational sector in Nigeria. What do you think about this? How can this technology transform the educational sector?
Yes, it's real. How do you know it's going to transform? See what it's doing to money already. For me, I believe the greatest opposition the blockchain technology is facing, it's because its first solution was in finance. And those controlling the world are those controlling finances. And then you can't create a solution when the solution is not coming from them. It's challenging. I mean, you're coming from this side of the divide, you're broke, you're poor, and then you're saying you're providing a solution for me to be transparent with my processes. So it's challenging, actually. But I believe that once it succeeds this level of penetration through the government and institutions, every other sector is going to be so anyone who's waiting for that time is already a late person. So right now, the several sectors all across, most especially education. What's going to do to education? For example, if you look at the expectations of the average African, right, before he goes into school and when he comes out, it's different. Recently, I did an interview and talking about the recent, you saw the recent press release on the Nigerian youth is lazy. So I had live appearance, and I said the challenge that the average Nigerian have is that the life that he wants, the educational system that is available is not enough to give him the kind of life that he wants.
Exactly.
But there were signs. We didn't just wake up here. It wasn't overnight. At the time we got into the point where an engineer leaves school and he found himself behind the counter, that was a signal that the education system that we currently have is not ready for the new age. Exactly. But then it didn't look like it was something. But people were celebrating the fact that there were jobs. Medical doctors, they left the hospital, they were in the banks. You know, so that tells us that the educational system that was available was not enough for the life that we want. And guess what? That's the only means we have. You know, if you look at the number of applicants for JAMB every year,
it's massive.
It's massive. So blockchain is going to create a level of transparency between expectation of the student and the actual delivery. Now, what I love about what blockchain does is our everyday life is based on contracts. The challenge is most of these contracts are not obvious. For example, the guy who says he wants to study engineering in the particular university, that's actually a contract because he has to pay, and the school has a responsibility to deliver a certain level of knowledge. But guess what? He enters into that contract with him being at the victim end, because once he pays his fees, whatever the school has for him, he has to accept.
Yeah, so
and guess what? It doesn't matter how low the level of education the school provides. The school also has to vet whether he's passing or not. So whether you give me what I am supposed to get or not, if I do not meet your expectation, I still have to repeat another year. I still have to pay you fees. So if you look at the terms of the contract, it's not favorable at all. So the blockchain is going to create a level of smart contract such that you cannot charge me for fees until I get a certain level of value that I'm putting in for. So it will create a very clear ground of transparency.
Okay, sorry, Tega, I have to cut you. Now you mentioned, now still on transparency, I'll need you to be more pragmatic here. All right, so how can this technology, all right, create transparency between students, all right, and the management staff, or let's say the school system right now?
Okay, fantastic. It's just to, every process has its physical and it has its data analysis. So if a school system is put on a blockchain infrastructure, from the point of the students choosing his course to the point of fees paying, of course I'm going to get to that point, because which means that most of the education system, most of the schools will have their own tokens. All right. Now if I put in for a course, which means the contract says that at so and so time I get this level of education, I am debited. Now if I do not get this level of education within I can't be debited. So and there is no situation. The only reason why I have to pay fees ahead before I enter school is such that they don't want to teach me at the end of 3 months and I don't pay. So I have to pay ahead. Well, what about me paying ahead and you don't teach me? So the infrastructure creates a level ground whereby the student has his right, the school system has his right. But it doesn't also end there, because most times when we make this kind of analysis, it looks like you're trying to rip the school system of its autonomous, strength. But it doesn't work that way. I mean, that's the challenge that most of those who were campaigning for Bitcoin were doing to the government, anti-government. For me, I said it doesn't work that way. You can't take away third party. Blockchain infrastructure is a third party. So you said take away the third party, let's do business. So how can we? There's an infrastructure. That infrastructure is a third party. The bank is a third party. So you can't really take away third party. You're only creating a better system than the current system of third party. All right. So
more or less like an advanced
third party. So the infrastructure is going to create a situation where the student has a right to his demands. And then look at the school system. Now the school system, the African education system, 80% of its challenges is funding.
Funding, very true.
I said most of the time. Our education, the fees, our tuition fees are one of the cheapest in the world. And I don't know how we expect to get the best level of education from here with the cheapest tuition. I don't know how that's going to work. Well, the government does a level of subsidy. Well, it's not only in Africa that the government does subsidy, yet we still have high tuition elsewhere. So this integration into blockchain can allow schools to create tokens that they can raise money and then also create transparency. So the school has a way to better its level of fundraising, which is also going to be transparent, because we all see how much has come in and what you're doing, everything is there. And then the school as well, the students will also have to make their payments, everything is transparent. And then there's balance between the students and the school system, between those who are even supplying stuff in the school. I talked about materials. Yes, I also talked about projects. You know the kind of system you're coming from, where you want to do your project, all you need to do is go 7 years ago, get a particular project, you edit it and then you submit it again. That's crap. So the current education system, he needs a creativity. So if all of the projects are on the blockchain, it means that you can't repeat what is already there, because each name is tied to what has been produced. And of course, they're going to be available for use. The other day I saw a picture on the social media on pile up of projects that were in the dustbin in a particular university.
Wow, that's sad.
So those are data that are wasted. But where are they going to put the data? Who's going to transform this data to e-copy upon which is going to be available on the blockchain? So if the current education system goes into blockchain, what we already have, what we have done, can be enhanced.
Very true.
Engineering students do a lot of projects. Where are the projects?
All right, Tega, that's amazing. No, I'm getting
cool.
get comfortable with it. I'll have to come back to this. All right, for those that are just tuning in, you're on to Inside Blockchain on Crypto TV Plus, and we are talking about how the blockchain technology can transform the educational sector in Nigeria. And my guest, Abikure Tega, he's the one in charge of telling us how this thing can be done. Let's quickly go on a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be talking more about this particular topic. So stay tuned.
Hi, my name is Chris Annie, the CEO of Digital Abundance.
My name is Abikure Tega. I'm the CEO and the founder of KureCoin.
I'm super excited to tell you about
Crypto TV Plus. I do enjoy getting updates from this channel. As a matter of fact, I look forward to every of their interviews, publications, and news.
So I'm telling you today, keep watching.
Keep watching
Crypto TV Plus.
Welcome back from the break. Just before we went on the break, my guest here, Tega, and I were talking about how the blockchain technology can transform the educational sector in Africa, most especially in Nigeria. So, sir, now a particular higher institution, I don't want to mention a name, all right, was shut down as a result of tax remittance. Okay, now how can this be solved by the blockchain technology?
Yeah, it's already, like we said earlier on, everything. If you take the system there, you take both its payments processes, you take both its delivery in terms of expectation of the students, you take everything into the system. So because of that, everything is solved. It's like the blockchain is a one-stop. Someone said it is not a miracle. It's not the miracle we're looking for, but however, it's going to do so much. I think as of now, it is the miracle we're looking for, because because it currently has the capacity to solve all of processes of institutions to up to 90%. Because if transparency and clarity is there, everything is sorted out. All right. Now the tax system, it's either two challenges. Either it's coming from the processes of those collecting the tax, or it's coming from the system of the school in paying the tax. So if any of these is on a blockchain, these processes is enhanced swiftly. And like I said earlier, how do you know this is going to work? It's already working in the finance sector. It's happening. It's transparent. If you take something from me, it's no longer in your hand, and it's seen by every party that it is not in another man's hand. So this system, it cuts down to everything, including even up to hostel, accommodation in institutions, including it takes care of so many things. So and like I said in one of the blockchain summits we organized, I said that so many things are going to come out of it. So many innovations and ideas is going to come out. Just the way when the internet came, we didn't know that something called social media is going to come, but it came on the internet. So many things are going to come. So we are open. I'm so excited. I'm very open. As a matter of fact, it's one of the very reasons that made us to create this kind of project, because we're positioning ourselves to be a parent to the industry in Africa and then beyond. Yeah.
All right. Now, looking at the educational sectors, presently, we are looking at a system or a sector that is underfunded. All right. Now, how can we employ ICO, all right, to better improve the educational sectors?
It's simple. The challenge about that is regulation, because most of the schools are not fully privately independent owned institutions. So, of course, the challenge of regulation is going to come on. But we're looking at putting up a proposal to the CBN, because this is not, if you look at something from one side, when the masses are the ones saying how good this thing would be, they're talking about it from their side. I need the government to also look at this thing from another angle. If the ICOs are legalized and a structure is created for it, like we have in the NSC, the Nigerian Stock Exchange, a system is created for it, it will further enhance the Naira, because it means every token and every crypto coin will be domiciled against the naira. So that will create strength for the naira. It's going to increase FDIs because it's going to make most of the value chain we provide across the globe. They're going to come through those tokens because most especially when some of the exports are particular token driven, so they have to receive with that particular token. So it's going to enhance the naira at the end of the day. So, but if it's not seen from this angle, there's going to be this level of wanting to tramp it down. If schools do their ICUs, there's so much money they're going to raise. I mean, if the Nigerian University Commission, the NUC, decides to have a unified token, if JAM decides to have a token, that's so much. That's so much. Now, part of the things we're looking at, for every sector we adopt into our blockchain infrastructure, the first one, we're going to do it for almost free because we want to first of all prove its workability and see that hey, this thing is possible, upon which the other ones are going to come. So if you're listening to me right now, of course, you want to prepare yourself and make sure that your company is the first one we're going to list on our blockchain infrastructure. That's and amazing. Then show its workability because it is workable. It is very practicable, and then it's gonna bring so much fun into the system, the educational system. It's gonna bring a high level of transparency and independence in the educational system. Yes, it's not gonna be effective with the private institutions alone because the licenses for private universities is not so long in the country. So the private owners have not run higher institutions over a long period of time upon which they can compete with the government-owned institutions. So if we want to go by private, it may not have as much effect as it would if it's coming from the NUC or from government-based institutions as well. All right.
You can follow the conversation on our social media platforms at Crypto TV Plus. And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Coming back to you, sir. Looking at KureCoin, what role is this platform playing in the enhancing the adoption of the blockchain technology in Africa?
It's amazing. Like I said before, part of what we decided to do is, I said in a conference, I did a Zoom live call to our community, over 20,000 of them across the world. I told them, I said, in my experience of participating in ICOs and cryptocurrencies, the most successful ones have been the ones backed by VC funds, venture capitalists, because they're not. A friend of mine told me, said, Tega, I've been in Silicon Valley. I spent almost all my life in Silicon Valley. Most of the I've seen breakthrough technological products that didn't see the light of day. So it's not in how effective the solutions are. You know how people come and say, well, our solution is so lovely, we're solving this. It's not, what is the business model behind the solution? Because until there's a business model, the investors is going to fund it. It's not a charity. It's not, you're not raising funds to go and feed people, feed children in reality. This is business. So if you're saying you have a solution that's going to change the world, fantastic. So what's the business model if I have to put my money in it? So I see that there's a gap between solutions and the business model around it. So what I am doing, and which is why the KureCoin is a big bet for any investor, is the fact that it's a project that is founded by a VC. So I'm not so much looking at solutions as I am looking at business model, because until there's a business model, then the solution is just one of those normal plenty solutions we have there in the market. So what we are looking at doing is, first of all, any solution or any idea must sit on a block. So we decided to own a block.
Okay.
And by the time you do that, you generate a token. Right?
Yeah.
When you do an ICO,
exactly,
you have to be listed on an exchange, right? So we own an exchange. So, but then everyone begins from the point of fiat, because fiat has been there. So where is the conversion point between fiat and crypto? So we own a bank. So if you have to think about blockchain or cryptocurrency, you may not like us, but you can't help but use us. So what we are looking at is position.
Is that the phrase? You don't need to like us, but you need to... All right, go ahead, sir.
So you can't help but use our platforms, and if you use our platform, then our coin that cannot help but appreciate. So we've been able to build this sustainable business model around it. And I told them the other time, I said, imagine if Ethereum had to pay you because you own a coin. Imagine if all of the smart contracts and all of the gas you have to buy, with Ethereum, all of the monies they make at the back end, which people do not see, all of those. Imagine if you have to get a piece of it because you own a coin. And that's what we're doing, because yes, we're paying dividends to everyone who owns a KureCoin. So I said one of our slogans is own a coin and be paid for life. It's amazing. It's amazing.
All right, Tega. So tell us quickly, where are you presently with the project you have coming with KureCoin?
Yes, we've done well. Our bank is live, 100% is already live. I mean, I used to say this a lot, and I brag about it. We're one of the few ICOs in the marketplace in the world whose project is already live even before we started pre-sale. So, and that's because we have the liquidity to fund our project even before the ICO. You know, ICO comes as a promissory explanation of something that wants to happen, but we were already on the course, and we at the time, one of our partners in Europe had to ask, man, why are you raising money? Because when you looked at the white paper, you didn't see what you want to use the money for. And I was like, well, the project was funded by money. We have to replace it too. You know? So, but because of that, our bank is 100% live. Our exchange is about 80% completed. Our payment infrastructure is about 70% completed. The blockchain is our baby. It's the last thing we're going to touch because it's so big and so. But we are able to have a partnership with Plaza.systems. We are the one powering our e-commerce, the e-commerce part of our blockchain. All of the e-commerce platforms, we're going to integrate them on that. It's really gonna be amazing. It's really gonna be amazing. So what we did, the last part of what we just added to it now, is we realized that when we started the project, we're doing blockchain summits out there. We realized that when we go out for such, it's only those who are interested in blockchain and cryptocurrency that come for the sessions. Either those who are already IT inclined, who are already programmers, who are already bankers. So only those. So, but we know this solution is not just for them.
Alone,
it's for everybody. So how are we going to do it? So we decided to come up with what we call the Kure Empowerment Foundation. That's the latest part we've had it to read.
All right, so tell me about it.
Yes, the Kure Empowerment Foundation. We talked to. I talked about it the last time I went to Dubai with part of my team for International Blockchain Summit.
Okay.
The tickets into the hall was about $1,000 for one person.
Oh.
So even in Nigeria, the last summit they had here, it was spent in dollars. So which means and it wasn't it's not educative session. It's a place where it's a meet-up point where everyone in the sector have to come together. So which means that it's very expensive for an individual to be educated about this. So what is the best way to have an all-inclusive, people? So we decided to come up with the foundation. It's the cheapest way for we to reach out to so many people. So if you purchase a KureCoin, that gives you an access into the Kure Foundation as well. Okay. And then we decided to create a network around it. Let's reach out to everyone to come in. Sorry. What inspired me about that is last week I saw a news post, 5,000 programmers in India set to deploy different blockchain and cryptocurrency solutions. 5,000. And the news continued that 10,000 more are undergoing training. And I said to myself, where is Africa in the picture? That's one country. Look, that's not the continent. In the world of African continent, where are we? So if there is no plan to bridge the gap, we're always going to, every year, we'll be going down in the chain. So the foundation is actually, our slogan for it is an economic revolution. We are setting the pace for an economic revolution, especially the digital. Internet of Things, artificial intelligence. What we added to that, the spice we added to it is we're making over 300 million naira grants available to any startup that is blockchain startup, internet, digital, any fintech, any of these sectors. We're making 300 million naira grants available. Part of which, of course, is going to come out from our ICO.
You heard that first on Crypto TV Plus.
So fantastic. So I'm so excited. That's where we are right now.
Okay, now let's talk figures. Okay, I want to invest. In KureCoin. So, what are the strategies in place for someone who wants to invest?
Yes. If you're listening to me right now, if you're in the African market or Nigerian market, well, you're favored because you can actually buy KureCoin from our bank right now. But if you're not in Nigeria,
sorry, how can they get this from your bank?
Through the bank. Go to www.kurecoinhub.com.
Okay.
When you get there, you just register. It's very simple to use.
Registration is free, yeah?
Registration is free, of course. Then you go there and then you purchase your KureCoin. You can pay with your card, or you can fund your wallet right there, and then you make your payment to purchase your KureCoin. It's actually at 65 cents currently. Okay. And then remember, any one piece of coin you buy pays you for life. One. So was you're buying 1,000, which means you're buying 1,000 chances of being paid for life.
Yeah, trust me, I'm buying.
It's amazing. No, it's amazing. It's amazing. Then, if you're outside of Nigeria, of course, we're opening the window for. We'll be doing pre-sale, private sale. We're opening for 20th of May, which is about a few days from now. Yes, 20th of May is going to go live, 65 cents, and then it's crazy, right?
Yeah, so
yes.
people can start.
Just that is at the IO. Okay. So it's KureCoinHub.io. But for the bank, it's KureCoinHub.com. Yes. Fantastic.
Okay, so Tega, before I let you go, looking at the blockchain technology in Africa, we are actually running on a very slow pace. So what do you think about this adoption in Africa, most especially in Nigeria? Do you see a wide adoption of this particular technology?
Yes, I see wide adoption, and you know the only way to predict the future is to create it, right? So that's what we're doing. I remember I watched an interview with CNN Money with Dangote, and where he explained his move from trading into manufacturing. It was a migration. He moved from trading to manufacturing. He said that when they got to that junction in their business where they've rolled monies over and over and again in trading, and they now have a lot of money. He wants to expand. He wants to grow. The next phase he has to produce the things he's selling. So, but he said when they looked at the country and saw. In the last couple of years, manufacturing companies are closing down. The ones that are not from Nigeria, they are going away. So what should he do? How do they come into the sector? So he said he engaged a couple of consultants, and they came up with a report that 2 factors. One of them is the power, epileptic power, and the second one was government policies because of the change of government, military. So the uncertainties affect manufacturing companies. So he said, okay, so the solution, and that's why today you see he creates his own source of energy himself. All right, and then of course you saw his diplomacy in getting involved in government because he had to provide a solution. But the challenge, what I saw about that is after him, who else? There's a gap between what he has achieved and what the manufacturing sector has achieved. There's a gap. So we don't want to create that. Well, it's good enough that officially we are the first African blockchain platform. Officially we're the first, and it's excellent. But that's not all.
There's more.
After us, what next? The experiences, the things we suffered, how we have to travel to Europe, sourcing for blockchain programmers, and you know how you're going with Naira, they're giving you $1 billion. So by the time you convert, you see the figures, and then you come back home, when you're talking to investors, they're giving you back in Naira. so you see all of those challenges trying to get partnership. Now you're trying to get partnership. Normally, it's everybody in the blockchain space, they all want partners. But when the partnership from an African to European is looking like they want to do you a favor because of where you're coming from, and then looking at your African descent, they appreciate what is coming supposedly from their masters than what is coming from Africa. So all of these challenges we went through, I asked myself, what are we going to do so that the next Tega is not going to experience this? So that's what led to the Kure Empowerment Foundation. We're going to bridge the gap. I said the next 1,000 projects that will come out from Africa is going to come from the foundation. Whoa. And we're funding it. And that's end to end. We're funding it end to end. Yes, we're funding it end to end.
I need to go start up my own so that the part of this.
End to end funding from the beginning to the end. Because you're sitting on our block. We're going to run your ICO. You sit on our exchange. So it's end to end. We're funding it. Yes, we're funding it.
All right, Tega, that's amazing. That's amazing. We're looking forward to that. Fantastic. So, what is your advice, okay, to someone who is yet to understand the potential of this particular technology? Just tell us about that before.
Yeah, my advice is get on board. Last weekend I was in Abuja and I had a session. I told them, I said, everybody stand up. If you have an account with Facebook, stand up. They all stood up. I said, if you have shares in Facebook, sit down. Nobody sat down. Good. I said if you have an account with Gmail, stand up. Everybody stood up. If you have shares, sit down. Nobody sat down. So I was asking them, I said, in the internet age, nobody prepared us for it. Nobody. We are all users. We're opening accounts. We're users. They were programming. Why MySpace came, we're opening an account with MySpace. They were programming the next thing, right? We're waiting for the next thing to use. No, they were looking for the next thing to create. So nobody prepared us for it. While they were teaching, while Indians were creating institutions to teach programming, we had the cyber cafes opening email. So nobody prepared us for this age. So the question is, well, if you sit down there and you're going to be a user again for blockchain. That's what's going to happen. So the choice is yours. Whether you like it or not, whatever sector you're playing, blockchain is coming. Today, even governments have websites. Governments were the last set of adopters for internet. Government, what do you want to put in? Yes, they are the ones already ruling you. So I mean, there was some campaign in some entrepreneurial trainings in US some time ago, about 10-15 years ago. Bill Gates was there. He made it. He said if your business is not on the internet, you're not existing. So there was a deliberate campaign to get all of them into the internet. No, it didn't happen for us. And some people are saying, well, the government, they don't understand the government body language for blockchain or cryptocurrencies. They're waiting for the government. No, the government is actually waiting for you. Government does not lead a revolution, in an economic revolution. No, it's the people. The government will come and set regulation. People say CBN, we're waiting for CBN regulation. And I'm asking, what does CBN want to regulate? Is it the WhatsApp group using buying Bitcoin? These are not companies. These are not companies. So there are no institutions that are emerged, blockchain companies doing well, blue chips upon which they are being listed. The government will set regulation. Regulation empowers the government. Regulation makes money for the government. The last time CBN created capitalization for the bank, the government of the day raised so much money. That's a they raised so much money. ICO, cryptocurrency, and blockchain is not an exemption. The government wants this to happen. They want to create, but there's nothing to regulate. They're saying, so why the government is waiting for you? You're waiting for the government. So at the end of the day, time is moving. So after a while, when you don't do anything, your government don't do anything. The foreigners will come with the businesses, and the government will work with them as partnership. You're going to be users again in the next generation. So the best thing to do for yourself is get involved. Someone said, well, I like to invest in cryptocurrency, but I don't understand it. When I understand, I will invest. That's not true. The best way to understand is to participate. Get involved. Yes, participation enhances understanding. You can't understand until you're in. When you've not bought any coin, you don't belong to any community, you can't understand outside. You have to be in. Come inside. You have to be in. Well, what if I lose it? That's part of it. You have to lose. You have to come in. That's when understanding begins to grow. So, but if you are outside and you want to understand before you come in, great. No, we are going to set up something you're going to use. I mean, they're going to make a new something in your office, and then you're going to have to report to someone who understands blockchain. That's how it's going to happen. Yes, we just have a generation of repeated users. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to. So get involved. Get involved anyhow. Look for a coin, buy one. Look for projects. Get involved. I told them. I said this is the closest you're going to get. Why are they ahead of us in the Western world? Is because they had the opportunity to sit in front of a Vitalik Buterin session explaining Ethereum. They could see the founder explain it. They could see the founders of Ripple saying this is how it's going to. You could see it. So two things involved. By the time I participate in Ripple because I believe in it, in participating I get my own idea, I create my own. That's why they've been creating a lot. But we don't have it here. There's a distance. There's a distance between those creating it and guess what? We are not so bad in creating the liquidity in the market. We're creating good liquidity in the market. We are buying Bitcoin a lot. So we are providing money in the space, just that we're not the one creating the product. Alright, so get involved anyhow. Just get involved. Alright, so just as we've heard from my guest, Tega, get involved. Get involved. There was one line you used, involvement or get involvement drives. Okay, no, participation enhances understanding. Participation enhances understanding. Yes, amazing. So you can go to the bank, go to KureCoinHub.com, buy a crypto right there from your ATM card. It's just simple as that. It's the fastest platform in the world that delivers the sales of Bitcoin. Wow. The moment your payment is confirmed, your Bitcoin in seconds is the fastest in the world. So go online and check it out, and then guys, you need to get involved because right now I think I'm involved. I'm involved. All right, we've come to the end of the show. I want to believe you had an amazing time. For those that are just joining us, I'm so sorry. You need to take this video backwards, all right, and listen to it all over again. There was a whole lot coming from Mr. Tega. Don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms at Crypto TV Plus. And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. For more information, news, updates, analyses, and interviews, visit our website at www.cryptotvplus.com. My name is Tony Obiajiru. It's a bye for now. See you some other time.